Hello and good morning. Welcome to Leave It Love the channel. So in this channel, I do return ascenders. I do return ascenders for the purpose of returning negative energies back to wherever it's coming from. You know, so and then I did do them. I did them already. I know I started running my mouth. I started talking, and it's so hot. It's 98 degrees now. 98 degrees, almost 100. Let me show you. Right? That shit is crazy. Oh, it's 99. It's 99 degrees right now. 99 degrees in the Bronx, sunny. I'm like, oh my God. That's for all the days that it's been cold. Because it's been cold, like, I don't know for how many days. It's been cold for the whole, it's been cold. Now it's the first, it's actually getting hot. Like, I'd rather be hot than cold. But whatever. Return of Thunders returns energy back to wherever it is coming from. Whoever is putting that energy out is just going to return the energy back to wherever it's coming from. You know, I haven't been talking about the courthouse. I haven't been talking about it all this time, but it's like an organization. It's organized crime. It's organized crime. It's systematic. It's organized because they're all a part of it. Everybody is a part of it. I'm just like I can't believe how everyone is a part of it. And then it's like I went to everyone to help me correct the situation. Like, what's the problem? Telling them what's the problem. Nobody's fixing it. That's because they're all a part of it. It's organized. It's organized crime. They cover for each other. They lie for each other. They'll ruin your life. They have access to confidential information. They have access to when a person passes away, the surrogates court. So that's people in the Bronx. They pass away. They leave you the property. They'll leave you stuff. You have to go to surrogates court to claim that property. The Bronx Supreme Court House, they forge documents. What is it? They get the death certificate printed. They get everything done. They forge signatures. And I remember my son won a $2.5 million lawsuit. My cousin, he won a $2.5 million lawsuit. His aunt died, and he was awarded to my aunt, whatever. But he went to check on the lawsuit, and the lawsuit is nowhere to be found. It's like it doesn't exist. But she sued the city and won a $2.5 million lawsuit for my son because for my cousin, and then he had lead poisoning. He was like 5 years old, and he was like, he just wasn't okay. But he won that lawsuit. He couldn't get the money because he was a minor. My aunt took the money. She'll deny it to this day, but somebody took the money because he's getting charges of taxes, the tax ID that he owes money for taxes. And like he was a minor, he was a child. Like, how can he owe money in taxes and he hasn't been getting no money? He was a minor. But these people, this family too. Family ain't shit too. Like they lie, they steal, they forge the documents, they death certificates. But I know the courthouse is stealing people's properties. If you don't claim it, somebody in the courthouse claim it. You try to find it, then the file is nowhere to be found. The file is doesn't non-existent. The file, and it's like, how can all of this happen? Because it's organized. It's the system. They all a part of it. That's the whole shit. They're all a part of it. But why are they coming for me? Like, what you coming for me for? I'm just efficient. I'm efficient and I do my job. But they come for me and they try to stop me and slow me down. They do all kinds of shit to me. And I'm just like, oh my God, but I see like what the fuck they're doing. Like, I see it, I document, I write it down. It's in the court file, but nobody reads the file. They hide the file. And I'm just like, oh my God, like they're doing so many illegal things, so much corruption. And then it's allowed because they're a part of the police. They're a part of everything. Vital records. They have a contact in vital records that prints them the document. Oh, can I get this? Oh, I need this. They probably get paid off too. Everybody gets paid off. Money is the motive to everything. Money makes people move. Money makes people they want to do. They want to work fast for you because you're paying them. You know, if I have money and it's an unclaimed document and then they have it and they're taking it, everybody's getting paid off from that, from the unclaimed funds. And I'm just like, and then when I'm calling and trying to get unclaimed funds, they're part of the system because it's the government. So they already know, like, oh shit, this bitch she's looking for the money now. I wasn't looking for it before, but I'm looking for it now. And they close the file. They don't even answer my emails now. That's unclaimed funds. And I put documents, the docket number, the file number, the OUF number, and there's 6 claims. One is not mine, but there's 5 that's mine. They paid out 1, so there's 4 left. Where's the money? Nobody's answering. Nobody's responding. Who can I talk to? Nobody wants to respond to my concerns, my questions. Nobody has nothing to say. That's the same thing with the emails. Like, where's my stuff? Why nobody responded? Why I didn't get anything in the mail? No one responds to me because I'm asking valid questions, but no one does their job. Who is going to make them do their job? Somebody higher than the unified court system has to come in, do their own investigations, and figure this shit out because there is a freedom of speech. I have a right to say what the fuck is on my mind. I have a right to say what I think is happening here. Like, you stealing money, you stealing government money, you're stealing people from the Bronx. It's a Latin community. This community is not rich. Nobody is rich here in the Bronx. Everybody here, we just trying to get by. Then you go to courthouse, they just stealing from the people. And I'm just like, and that's why the Bronx is the way it is. You have people in politics. They're supposed to help the people, but they don't help the people. It's all corruption. We supposed to vote today. I voted. I voted today. I'm like, I voted today. I always vote. I always vote. People be like, oh, why are you voting? Oh, voting doesn't mean anything. Voting doesn't matter. Your vote doesn't matter. Yes, my vote matters. My vote does matter. That's why things don't change because nobody wants to step up and do something. Nobody wants to step up and vote. Maybe if we was all to step up and vote for people that are not corrupt, they keep allowing the same corrupt politicians in office. If you don't want that man in office, don't vote. Don't vote for them. Don't vote for a corrupt politician. Vote for someone that's going to actually do something for the city, that's actually going to do something for the people. I vote. I teach the kids, vote. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody going to tell you, don't vote, don't vote. Your vote doesn't matter. Don't listen to them. Your vote does matter. Your vote means everything. They need your vote. When you don't vote, that's why corrupt people stay in power. And we got to get them out of here. Get them out of here. We have a voice. You have a right. You have a privilege to vote. It's a privilege to vote because we were denied privileges. There was a moment in time women wasn't allowed to vote. If you wasn't a white American, you were the only one that could vote. Everyone else couldn't vote. We didn't have the right to vote. Just because you're a woman, you can't vote because you're a woman. You have no voice. That's how we were considered like nothing. Times have changed. Times have changed, and now we can vote. We can vote, and nobody wants to vote. Nobody wants to use their rights. You have the right. It's your civic duty to vote. You have a privilege to vote. Vote. You know, your vote matters. You make change. We are change. We are the future. We make things happen. And because nobody ever wants to do anything, that's why shit stays the same. And it's just like, oh my God, I voted. Hell with it. I voted. I tell the kids, go vote. Go vote. You gotta vote. You turn 18, you're gonna vote. You pick your party and you vote for whoever you want to vote. You know, you gotta vote. Voting is important. Not everyone is taught to vote. Not everyone is taught politics. You know, all this shit matters. You think it doesn't matter. It does. These corrupt politicians are in places of power is because nobody does anything. And then we the people, we think our voice doesn't matter. We think that they can do whatever they want. No, they can't. Like, your voice does matter, and you can do something. You can do something, you know? Or whatever, you know? And then things are spiritual. You can't see it, you can't prove it. All I can do is cleanse myself, protect myself, you know, and return the energy back to wherever it's coming from. But it's like the system is so big. It's so big. It's the unified court system is a system within the courts. It's family court, supreme court, civil court, surrogates court. Surrogates court is where the people are deceased, they have a connection in vital records that gets them the death certificates of the people that passed away. That's how they could get the property. That's how they forge stuff. You know, they delete files. This file doesn't exist. How the file doesn't exist? How you lose a court document? How you lose a case, a $2.5 million case that was awarded to a child? How you lose that? They stole that money. That's what happened. They stole the money. Can't prove it. You know, it's like not internal, like investigations from an outside source, the FBI, the CIA, like whoever needs to come up in the courthouse and see what is going on in the courthouse, because it's a corrupt system. It is a system. It's developed to keep the information inside. You cannot talk about it. You can't tell anyone what's going on in here. They make you sign documents, NDAs, so you can't talk about it. You know, you sign your rights away. And then it's like they can do whatever they want to do, and then you can't tell nobody. You go to people internally in the office, and then they don't do anything. They don't help. They don't even try to help. They're like, oh, Teresa Torres again? Like, oh, we know about her. We know about her. But they don't do anything. So, you know, I'm being harassed. You know, I'm being stalked. You know, I'm being bullied. You know, I'm being harassed. You know, all this stuff. I'm being singled out. You know, all this stuff is happening to me, and they don't do nothing. And then I had to stay. I had to stay because I got kids and I got to take care of the kids. I don't have a person. I don't have help. It's me. I do everything. But you gotta pay attention to everything. And that's all I did. I paid attention to everything that's happening, and I write everything down. And I make notes. Paper trail. You need a paper trail. Date, the time, the location, who's in the room. Who's in that room with you? That's your witness. Whoever's in the room with you, that's your witness. You know, because they'll start talking, they'll say something, and they'll change the information. Like, you need a witness. If you don't have a witness, you don't have no proof, because they're gonna say whatever they want to say, and then it's your word against their word, and they're a fucking liar. Dirty whore. Like, she's just like, ugh, just a disgusting woman. But it's just me and her. It's her word against my word, you know. So it's like, and then she has all the political power. She has all these people backing her up, and this bitch is dirty, nasty. She's a whore. Like, she sleeps with any fucking body, just straight up nasty. But it's politics. It's like, it's okay. It's okay to be a whore. It's okay to sleep with everybody. That's how you get what you want. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna be like this woman. Like, I can work, I can do my job, I can be educated, I can be smart, I can earn my things. Like, I don't have to be like this woman and be a whore and be sucking everybody off and everybody talking about her, sending her flowers because she done fucked everybody. I'm just like, you know, you're not supposed to talk about the courthouse. You're not supposed to talk about it. I don't work there. I don't work there, so I can talk about it. The NDA, it was while I was employed. I couldn't talk while I was employed. The lawsuit happened when I wasn't employed. The sabotage of my documents, I wasn't employed when she tried, no, when she sabotaged my documents. She sabotaged my license and she sabotaged my employment. That was when I wanted a job within the courts. I don't want that job because I know if I was to get that job, they're gonna make me sign an NDA. They're gonna make me not talk about the courthouse. You can't talk about the courthouse. It's like it's organized. It's like a society, a group of people with too much power, too much money, and too much power. And it's like, who controls them? Who is, looking after them? How are they getting the privilege? How are you getting people's death certificates? Death certificates for people that are not related to you. They're not related to you, but somebody in Vital Records is issuing this out to someone that's not a family member. They have a connection in Vital Records. Yeah. They have a connection to all different kind of people, to the doctors. They want to know your file. They want to know what's wrong with you. They'll call the office. They'll get your confidential medical records. They'll get that information and then they'll just talk about you like a dog. Whatever you file in human resources is spread throughout the whole office. There is no confidentiality. Once human resources know, once Teresa Torres knows, everybody knows. Everybody knows. Like, nothing is a secret. It's just like, oh my God, like nothing is, everybody knows. Everybody knows. But whatever, it's freedom of speech. I can say what the hell I want to say because it's like, it's organized crime. It is a RICO crime. It is the government. It's the unified court system. So how can they have all this control? So it must be like a group, a cult. It's a special group of people. The courthouse, they have keys to certain rooms. Not everyone has that key to that room. It's only certain people has that key to that room. They do whatever they do. I don't know what they do. In God we trust is on the wall though, and they doing some other stuff. They doing some evil. Something evil is happening in the court system, in the unified court system. And that's why there's so many injustices that happen. People are in jail that don't deserve to be in jail. Things just happen to innocent people, but it's because the is full of corrupt officials. Government officials are corrupt. When you deserve a job, you won't get it because you're not related to whoever is there. You know, I got that job because of public assistance. That's how I got my job in the courthouse. How you get in the courthouse? It was because of public assistance. That's how I got it. It was because of the Begin program. That's how I got that job. Because even if you take the test, even if you do whatever you do, that doesn't mean you're gonna get the job. They have to they have to pick you. They have to select you. You know, they'll do the interviews. 20 people will be in that interview, but one person out of that 20 is a relative, and they'll get the job. And they're not qualified, but they'll get that job. Not the people that took the test, not the people that are eligible, not the people that are qualified to get that job will get the job. You know, but this is the Bronx. I don't know if every other courthouse is the same way. I'm talking about the Bronx Supreme Courthouse. That's how they get down. And I could talk about the Bronx all day, every day. It's always some shit. I didn't even pull out the file. I didn't even pull out the case file. I'm just talking because I'm like, yo, like how it's just so connected. Everybody knows what happens. The police knows what happens. Nobody will touch the case. Nobody will help you with the case. No attorney will help me with the case. It's like they're all in on it. Everybody is in on it. And it's like, who can I go to? Even the FBI could be a part of this shit because it's like, how can nobody know what the hell is going on? It's like, I'm not in the federal government. I'm not an officer. I'm a regular person. And how can nobody have done anything all of these years? No one has done anything because they have people in places of business so that they won't do anything. They can't do anything. They won't let anyone get involved with the courthouse. I'm just like, wow. That's how they've been doing this shit for so long. That's a RICO crime. That's a crime. They had RICO crimes in the 1970s, but it's still going. We in 2025 and they still have organized crime. It's like the Bronx is so outdated. It's like it's just old school. Everything is old. Nothing is up to date. Nothing is modern. Everything is whatever. I'm glad to be alive. I'm glad to not be a part of the courthouse. And I'm just like, these are logical questions that you have to ask yourself if you're an officer. Ask yourself, why is it all these years from the 70s, we're in 2020, nobody decided to get their hands on the courthouse and find out what the fuck is going on in the courthouse? Nobody. So who in the feds is working with the courthouse? Who is not letting anyone investigate the courthouse? Someone is in it. Someone is in on it. That's why nothing gets done. So it's like the police in on everybody is in on it. And you can't even speak to everyone because everyone is a part of it. So it's like who you want to talk to? Who can I talk to? Who can I tell that's not a part of it? Because they're all a part of it. They're all gonna lie. No, oh my God. What? That happened? Oh my God. They talk like they never heard. I'm like, you people just, I don't know. But it's like logically, like you really think about this shit. How come RICO crimes was in the 1970s? That's when all the drugs was jumping. Everybody was pushing coke, was pushing drugs. And it was an organized crime. It was offices. It was places of businesses that were smuggling the drugs. This is the government office, so you think they wouldn't be like this, but the people in the office are criminals or they're related to criminals. That's how they get their job. They're not qualified to have that job or that position. They're there because of who they know. Who do they know? They know criminals. So that's why the courthouse is full of criminals. Nobody paid attention to that. Nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. There's been so many years of the same shit and nobody noticed. Somebody in the feds is in on it and is covering for them so that the information doesn't get out. Because how can this be that nobody noticed? Nobody decided to ever investigate the courthouse? No one in the FBI? No one? No one. Yeah. Somebody's in on it. Somebody's in on it. Y'all just, nobody does their job. Nobody does their job. I'm just like, yo, how can nobody think of this shit? How can you not think about it? Okay, it's fine. The court cases, the judges, everyone is in on it. You don't criminal court. They put innocent people in jail. innocent people in jail. They set them up to get killed. You know, it's normal for somebody to get attacked in jail. That's normal behaviors. And it's crazy that no one thinks about it. Like, that's your job, to investigate crimes that are like unbelievable. Like shit that happens. Like you don't want to look into the courthouse. Like you don't want to look into that because they're in on it. That's why nobody looked it up. The NYPD is in on it. The lawyers are in on it. Everybody's in on it. It's like an unspoken rule. That's why no attorney will help me with the case. No attorney will take the case because they already know they can't. They don't want to go against the courthouse because it's a system. It's a huge system, and it is corrupt, and nobody wants to go against the courthouse. But I'm suing the fucking courthouse, and I will have justice. And they are stealing money, unclaimed funds. It's all a part of it. You know, when you go to surrogate's court and your family members in the Bronx, they left property, they left you something. Yeah, the courthouse takes it. My cousin is a Bronx resident. Bronx, from the Bronx. Florida, his aunt, or my aunt. That's his mom. You know, she won that case. It was in the newspapers. It was in the newspapers that they won. He won a case, $2.5 million lead poisoning case, and he won. Where's the case? Now he wants to go and claim his money. Where's the money? Who got the money? Somebody took the money. Where's the case? The case is not existent because I was looking for the case. What happened to the case? It's an actual case. He won. He was in the newspaper. It was a big fucking deal. What happened to the file? What happened to the case? It's gone. Nobody has it. And I was looking for the case. I was looking for the case so that I could give it to him. And I wanted to give it to him so that he could claim his money, and the case was non-existent. It didn't exist. Somebody took the money. $2.5 million. Who would do it? Somebody in the courthouse. That's who. Or a family member that, wanted the money. Whatever. I just need someone with power, somebody that cares, somebody that actually wants to do something. And vote. Go out and vote today because your vote does matter. If you think it doesn't matter, it does. Your vote means everything. You just don't know it, but it means everything. Always live alive. Bye.